Hey, it's SaskiaSketches, and today I'm going to be drawing in a couple styles that I think inspired the majority of my style. So obviously the first thing that I had to do was establish a baseline. So in the first panel I drew my avatar in my own style, and in the other panels I will draw my own avatar in other styles. And now let me tell you, this first one was a disaster. Everything went wrong. It felt like, but I feel like it's because I was using a mechanical pencil that was just far too thick for the smaller details that I was trying to do. So my sketch wasn't the greatest, and then my outline didn't turn out as well as I would have liked either. And then I tried to color it and I couldn't really get a good green for the shading, and I was just having a hard time with this one. But I felt like I really wasn't very inspired when I was making this one either. I wasn't feeling too well, but I'm glad I got that out of my system, because after that I was like, okay, I need to do better. I need to do better. The next one that I did turned out a lot better, I feel like, and then I redid the baseline, quote unquote, and that really helped. I feel like I'm super proud of how this page turned out. Yeah, but for the rest, I don't think the colouring was that much of a disaster. I had so much fun working with markers again, though. Like, I haven't worked with markers in a while. I haven't drawn anything in markers, so it was really fun to do that again. Okay, I won't spoil which styles I picked just yet, but I will say that it was really difficult to pick the right styles, I feel like, because you know, some styles I really like and I'm really inspired by, but they don't really show up in my style as much. Like, they didn't really help shape my style as it is now, and I find that so difficult to pick out which ones have and which ones haven't. Like Metabots, for example, I love the Metabot style, but I think there's very little of that style that has made its way into my own, if that makes any sense. It's really hard to decide which ones work and which ones don't work for this challenge. Okay, but more on that later, because the first style that I picked is the Inazuma 11 style, and does this come to a surprise to anyone? It certainly doesn't to me. This one was one that I knew for sure that I had to put in here. This is because the first, I guess, few years of me making art was just copying Inazuma 11 screenshots, so I'd say this one has a pretty solid place on this list. And I'm honestly just in love with how this piece of art turned out. I really enjoy the face and the hair as well. I coloured the hair in a little bit too dark, but I love the rest of it. I really enjoyed the line work phase as well, because I felt like it was just so Inazuma. It looked so Inazuma, and I just really enjoy it. And then I made the mistake, force of habit, but I made the eyebrows and eyes show through the hair, which, oh no, I shouldn't have, because the Inazuma 11 style doesn't do that, but mine does, so I got a bit confused, or it was just a force of habit, but it was so sad. But oh my gosh, did I have fun with the shading too. Oh, because Inazuma 11 style has such a unique shading style, or at least it does to me, because I studied it a lot, and I really enjoy it so much, and I love just this was a joy to do this. It was so much fun, and I had so much fun with this. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, so I did color in the hair a bit too dark, as I mentioned, but I was really trying to match some other characters' hair color, but I couldn't really find the right one. Probably should have just stuck with one of my default colors. But I love how this one looks though. I really enjoy it. And this next one is very interesting to me, because I have a friend, and whenever she tries to describe my style, she always mentions Full Metal Alchemist. And she always says, like, yeah, your style looks so much like Full Metal Alchemist. And I'm like, does it though? Really? Because because I can imagine why it would, because I have drawn a ton of Fullmetal Alchemist fan art back in the day, but I honestly don't think it looks that much alike. I don't know. I feel like Fullmetal Alchemist style is much more blocky and has much more sharp, rounded forms. If that makes any sense, I feel like my style isn't as blocky. That's the only way I can describe it, really. Because the hair, for example, that is very, very edgy. Always. Like that's how how I've always seen it, the Fullmetal Alchemist hair. And I feel like the faces are very sharp as well, but like broad. I don't know how to describe this, but I just feel like it looks so different from mine, and I don't really understand how she could see that influence, but at the same time I do, because there must be some Fullmetal Alchemist influence in my style, because I did used to do a lot of Fullmetal Alchemist fan art, like I said, back when I was developing my own style, and I find it so interesting, but I find it weird but interesting, but I don't really know. But but yeah, I do really like the Fullmetal Alchemist style. I love Fullmetal Alchemist, great anime, go watch it. But yeah, I find it so, I don't know, I'm a little bit conflicted on this one. And here's where I decided that I wanted to redraw my baseline, quote unquote. And I love this one. I really like the way this one turned out, so much better than the other one. Because after I finished my first sketch, I moved on to this much smaller mechanical pencil, and with that I could do a lot more intricate sketching, and I could do a lot more detailed that I want to get in and everything. And I really like how this one came out. I think this one looks a ton better. I zoomed in a little bit more, so this one is more on par with the other ones, as it's more like torso up and not from the hips and up, if that makes sense. So like I mentioned before, I was having a little bit of trouble picking which styles I wanted to include and which I didn't, because I tell you, I had at least 10 styles picked out, which I wanted to feature in this video, but then I realized, wait a minute, most of these styles don't show up that much in my own, and most of these I just put in because I wanted to try drawing something in this style, not because it inspired me so much to the point that it actually altered my style so much that it's still visible to this day. So the styles that I focused on, I narrowed it down to 5, and I looked at my old artwork and I remembered which styles I used to draw a lot of fan art of back when I was starting to develop my own style, and I based these choices upon that, because I feel like the styles I copied most, I figured that those will have the most influence will have had the most influence in my style, if that makes any sense. But I feel like it's just really hard for me to look at my style and pick apart which other styles are, I don't know, have influenced mine. And I think that's mostly because I am far too up close to my own style to actually recognize that. So if you think I've got this all wrong, please leave it in the comments, because I would love to hear from you which style you think looks most like mine. I think that would be super duper interesting. Perhaps I forgot a couple, who knows? Okay. Still want to talk about One Piece. I love One Piece. Oh my gosh. I haven't watched any in a long time, but I used to love watching One Piece, and oh my goodness, I have such a love for this show and this style, and it is so, oh my gosh, I love it so much. I did think the hair turned out a little bit too neon. The cap of my marker wasn't as neon as this one, but as this color that came out, but I still really like it. I love how it looks, and I had so much fun with this. and I have no idea what happened here, why it looks so blurry. I hope that changes soon. If not, please stick with me. But the next style is Wolverine, and Wolverine has such a special place in my heart. Not just the style, but the story and the anime itself. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite ever. It's the first anime, like actual PG-13 anime that I ever watched. It's the one that got me into anime, and oh, it's such a good one. Yes, and I decided to do these last two at the same time because I was spending a lot of time on these and I wanted to just get it done, basically. And for this one, Code Geass has also had such a special place in my heart. I recently rewatched it because I haven't seen it in years, but I had so much fun with that. Oh my goodness. But I just realized upon watching it again just how whack the anatomy is, and it's so weird that I used to think that was such a fantastically realistic style, and now I look at it and I'm like, torso shouldn't be this long. They really shouldn't be. But I had so much fun drawing myself in this style. I think that was like really, really fun. Even like copying that kind of whack anatomy was kind of fun. But yeah, moving back to Wolverine, kind of like flip back and forth a bit, I guess. But oh, I love how this style looks. Wolverine honestly is maybe one of my favorites style-wise, and I think maybe my style looks the most like Wolverine out of any of these. But and Code Geass, I really like. I had so much fun detailing the hair in the last few, because I felt, because I saw that both these styles just put a ton of detail in long curly hair, and hey, that's precisely what I have. But also both of these styles have something else in common, and that is that they make long hair absurdly long, so I try to copy that as well and just make like super long hair. And it was really fun. I think I colored them kind of at the same time too, but then I decided I'm just gonna move on to finishing the first one and then move on to the second one as well. And I wanted to get a bit more green into the page as well, because I felt like if I just drew all the attire blue, I felt like it just would distract from the style itself. If the page wasn't very balanced, you'd just gravitate towards mine, because the others would fall back a bit. I guess that could work too, because it would set mine apart, but I really liked this one, and I love the way I coloured this hair, and I feel like it resembles the hair that I colour, or like the way that I would colour hair the most. And I just love the shading. I think it's so much fun. It looks so good. I feel like I really like the way that one turned out. And then the Code Geass. Code Geass has such an interesting style. It's so sharp. It really is. That's the only way to describe the style, really. You can't describe the Code Geass style and not use the word sharp. It really is. And it's I decided to colour this outfit as more of a Black Knight's uniform kind of thing. Not really, but it works, I guess. It doesn't look like an ordinary Black Knight's uniform, but I do feel like it looks a lot like something they would draw in this style. And that was what I was going for. I wanted to really make something that looked like it could come from Code Geass, because I felt like the shirt that I drew myself in for Fullmetal Alchemist just wasn't really cutting it. It didn't really look like the clothing of that style. So that was, yeah. I felt like I was cheating a little bit with that one. So I wanted to keep the outfits authentic, I guess, to the style that I drew them in. And I feel like it really worked with the rest of them. I love the Raymond uniform I have for the Inazuma 11 style, and I really like the sweater, or like the jumper that I had for the Wolverine style as well. And I like obviously the striped pirate shirt is awesome. But I really like how my avatar really looks like a character from the Code Geass show. I love how that looks. And with that, we're at the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more art videos every single Friday. Have a great weekend, guys, and keep on sketching. Bye!